All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another Relentless live session here. So, there's a couple of stocks that are moving. There's quite a few actually. Today might be one of those days where it's like a little bit more difficult to determine which stock will be the stock. We might have multiple of them. So I'll write up the watch list here. I'm watching SSNT. I'm watching SMFL. That one is selling off a little bit. It might not do as well. SHOT. There's also two, I believe two of them that have slightly higher floats. ATTH. And there's even a higher price stock in EYPT that is moving up today. Crispy has VVOS there on his list. Let's check it out. This stock is, it's like you kind of feel like there's going to be a bounce at some point. The volume is a little lighter today, but maybe today could be that day. Hey, we'll throw it on there too. Why not? And those are all the few, well, more than a few really. Quite a handful. Quite a handful. But, the reason why I don't mind making the watch list a little longer is that it's guaranteed that some of these stocks are going to fade out almost immediately. And so that will cut the number down and we'll have a tighter list there as we go. So let's see here. Alerts. Dash, what's up? How's it going, bro? How's it going? We gotta check in one of these days. Yeah, so anyhow, let's start off with SSNT. This is the main stock I'll be watching here. SSNT. This one has a high point of 13.95. The low is all the way down there at 573. Very low. So in this recent push, we've got a high point of 913. And the height of the bear flag back here was around $9. So I really want to see this holding above 9 and above the VWAP as well, which is currently at 805. It's fairly low actually. Let's zoom in here. So this one has some huge range here. Some huge range. On the daily chart, let's take a look. There's the alarm for screen recording, so let's go ahead and do that quickly. All right, screen recording is looking good. So SSNT, we've had a couple of candles that pushed up in the last couple of months. That's faded out. And let's see, going back to November 15th of 20, well, a couple of years really, 2021, it was a high of 960. And then earlier in 2021, February, January, we also had a bit of a move. So I'm going to map out those levels here quickly. Again, 960, the first level. Going back some more, we have, let's see, 1282. So if this one decides to move, there could be some room here. This particular red candle was in August 4th, I believe, 2020. So going back a few years. 1040 is also a level that's in there. So this one, okay, maybe there might be some room, some pockets, but there could also be, resistance. And over 11, what's this high? 1427 is where it looks like we'll have a ton of room. So we'll see. We'll have to see. I believe 1427 will be close to like all-time highs. So we really and truly need to break up the pre-market high. And if we do, this one will be looking pretty good. But between now and then, there are small pockets, right? 960, 960 to 1040. We'll see if it's able to push up a little bit. SMFL, on the other hand, yeah, probably not worth watching, right? I mean, it popped up, sold off, small bounce right here to the depths with this one. So I'll pull up EYPT over here. And I'll move on to that one. EYPT, nice big push today, high of 34.75. This one is a bit of a higher price stock, so we'll have to approach it with caution and maybe reduce our share size a little bit. Definitely want to get a good read on the spreads and see if the spreads are tight. If not, we definitely got to be careful. The daily chart is looking pretty decent. The next big level, if we can get back over like 27, the next big level is up there around 39. So I think the pre-market high, if this is to give a good move, would be a decent target. Right back at 34. Can we get back to VWAP area? If we do, can we get over that level and then back at the pre-market high? SHOT, on the other hand, it's kind of been steadily pushing back up on the daily chart, but we haven't really had a very solid day since the 21st of last month. We need to see some good action here on this one. Notable daily levels, 605 and 750. 605 and 750. Other than that, pre-market highs today are 555. We'll see if volume gets into this one. That's SHOT. Other than that, we'll see ATHE. This one is up and it's looking all right, but has a bit of a higher float. High of 962 for the highs. We'll see if it's able to do anything, over time. Low of the move has been 420. So yeah, with that being said, I'm looking forward here to another beautiful day, another disciplined day. Looking forward to starting with some smaller size as well, just to try and get a good gauge on what's actually going on with the momentum and where the hot stock will be, which stock is it. And just going to be patient, right? I'm going to look forward to trading those opportunities that I know and love. And it comes down to just waiting for the right stock to prove its strength. Other than that, let's let that discipline compound, all the things that we've reviewed and studied over the weekend. Let's look forward to applying those things here in today's session. And lastly, don't forget the disclaimer, which is that day trading is very risky. And if you're not consistently making money already, take it slow, utilize small size, utilize the simulators. Remember that the live streams are not an invitation to copy trade. So take it slow. And day trading is not an overnight thing. It takes weeks, months, and years, more commonly years, all right, for people to get competent and efficient. Take it slow. And lastly, be careful of the impersonators. A lot of fake accounts are popping up. I will never ask you for money or personal information. I do not invest for my subscribers. So here we go. SSNT is the one I'll be watching. We got a high of 36, low of 27. Down to 770. The dip is going to hold. There's quite a spread. Doesn't seem to be a ton of selling. I'm going to take a quick position here and see if it bounces up. The highs are at 37. Not quite holding. Whoa, what kind of fill was that? Must have gotten filled over 8. I know it's... I'll be back. I must have gotten filled into the moon on that trade there. So the low is at 750. 750 for the lows. Scratch trade. You know it's bad when you thought it was at least a green trade or slightly red if anything. So we got a low of 25. I'm going to do a rotation here to see if anything else is moving. ATHE. ATHE. The higher float stock seems to be moving well. It might get halted up at 46. Okay, another quick loss. Buying the dip a little too early there. Maybe I sized down even more than the small size I'm using now. I think that might be the move. Protect ourselves a little bit better. Only using 1,300 shares, but getting caught. We have a high of 41 and a low here of 72 so far. High of 541, low of 472. It does seem to be recovering, which is good. This is going to be a crucial candle here on the 5-minute. EYPT, the spreads are massive here. But maybe it does give the daily count, the 1-minute candle to make the new high. So right now I'm not quite sure which one is the one. The other one is halted down, SSNT halted down. 73. It's like it's not going through 22. There's some sellers here. EYPT. It might flush down. I'll switch back to this one here. Worth a shot. Oh, there's sellers there, all right. 19,000 at 22. The halt up is at 22.44. So low on ATHE 45. We bounced up nicely off those lows there. So good bottoming wick. The 5-minute candle is going to close in decent shape. We are below VWAP, but you know it's holding up. I wonder if there's shares available for EYPT. Could have been a good short.
SSNT, NEXI.
I think this might be the one. This stock right here. The bottoming wick was good. The retest of the low of 50 was good. So whilst it's not trending up right now, it might just have the range. So maybe I should have been focusing on this one here sooner. Low 56. Low of the entire move is 45. And I'd say right now the high is about 80 or 90. $38.08 for the resumption on SSNT, which could provide a good dip. $38.08, so there's less than a minute to that resumption. If there's not a setup at the time on this one, I'll watch the other one. I'll watch SSNT just quickly to see if there's about 18 seconds for that resumption. Oh, looks like I'll be occupied. Ooh, not a great entry here. And a little too high on that, but that was a good dip. That was a good dip. It wasn't super aggressive. We'll see if it breaks down though, because it's lingering. It might break down here a little bit. So I'm gonna miss any potential bounce on that resumption. As we know, opportunity will cost. Oh, sold out too soon, it looks like. It's definitely like it's interesting. It's kind of like a mixed reaction here at these lows. Because it's not really selling off, but it's also not really bouncing. Like the selling eases, some buyers come in, but then we kind of don't really push up. Here's a good push up. There's a 12,000 share bid at 40. Ay, ay, ay. SSNT, red to green over the level of 7 so far. Small red to green. I think this might be getting ready. I'm gonna start prepping positions here. Because if this starts to move, right now it's providing small dips, but if we get the upside move back to 550, Guys, don't forget if you're watching on YouTube to hit that thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up. Uh, is it going to the depths? It's quite the pullback there. 75, 51. I'm getting a little bit more active there in that area because I thought I was getting ready to, get over 80 and 90 again. Look at SSNT go, man. 750. So which stock is it really here today? Halt up is at 765. I wouldn't mind seeing a halt up SSNT. Can we see the halt up? Will we get short sellers to cover here?
DUNA.
It seems like it might be halting up, which is good. 73. I'm watching for dips on this one. If we can see another big dropout, it'll be good. Let's say below 4. But maybe it holds up right here. Okay, switching back to SSNT, which is halted up. Ay, ay, ay. Which one will it be? SMFL, as suspected, no good. SHOT, not much there. EYPT, not a ton there. So ATHE and SSNT seems to have been the two so far. I don't know. I'm thinking SSNT might need to pull back a little bit though, right? I mean, kind of up a good amount. So of course the dip and rip is what I'd like to see. And I feel good with size. If I take a big loss, then that's okay. Something to think about though. Because if it is not a good trade, let's say it's a good setup, but there's like the trade fails, and we're probably gonna lose at least 20 cents, which will be like 500, and that'll put us down close to like 1K essentially here on the day. Wouldn't be good. But on the other side, if it's like strong and we can really connect, we can definitely be up over 1K very quickly. So risk to reward, do I want to maybe go with a moderate share size somewhere in the middle? If I lose, it's not too awful. Can still give myself a chance. Hmm. Decisions, decisions, decisions. I think I'm gonna go moderate because we gotta stay true to our plan here. It's early in the month. We gotta be disciplined. And in doing this, doing it in the middle, we can still make something if it goes. If we lose, it's not gonna wipe us out like a huge loss. So it'll give us more longevity, right, throughout the day. Because who knows, right? If it's really terrible, you can lose pretty big. So we'll go middle, moderate. So 48, 40. 48, 40. You know, I'm looking at the context. I still want to see this thing over the highs, which right now are at 837. You know, we still have a ways to go. It's not out of the woods yet. It's saying 812 resumption, which I don't know if that'll be the case, but if it is, that'll be good. SSNT. 4840. If it is 5 minutes. So we got less than a minute to go. I'm seeing sideways, and I'm also seeing eight. It actually is it saying lower? Okay, it looks like it might be sideways, or maybe 812, 811. All right, let's 30 seconds. Hands in the buy button. No fear, no hesitation. 20 seconds. 10 seconds. We're halted at 773. Here we go. 10 minutes. It looks like it's going to be 8:15, 8:20 resumption. Yes. So, okay. We're going to resume a good 40 cents higher. All right. Hopefully it gives the entry that we need. That's the real thing, right? It needs to give the entry and the follow through. If we can see that, we can, we can lock in a nice trade, but if it just opens up higher and just like goes into the next halt, nothing that I can do. I do not take that trade. It's just too much risk in that trade, man. Because if you try to buy it high and it decides it doesn't want to go, you're literally in high of day and then it's pulling back. And more than likely, you'll be selling where you should be buying, right? So I usually just let that trade go because it can be a frustrating area. Waiting patiently. Let's do a rotation in the meantime. ATHE. Bit of a bear flag there over the high of 38. So, maybe the 5 minute candle makes a new high here. It can maybe curl up a little bit. EYPT. SHOT. SHOT, decent recovery there. We'll see if it, turns into something later. It's like a stock like this needs a headline right now. This can put out a nice headline with some good news. It's already in a good position. VVOS, the volume hasn't really been that high. I believe that's all of them.
Via ally you.
53.40 for resumption. The trade where I took that $200 loss, I'm still I still want to go back. I kind of want to go back and see that. So when the live stream is done, it's one of those trades I'm going to review. It's kind of surprising that I took a loss there because I was green. So it's more than a $200 loss. It's like losing 350 or 400. With that size that I had, it's like I must have been filled very high. I'm guessing I'm probably in at like 95, and I probably sold at like 60 or less. ATHE, so we are going to get that 5-minute candle to make the new high, 38. So this is a good move right here. It's a good move. About a minute to resumption, or less than a minute. This resumption better not flop, man. We need to see. It's showing 848. It's showing a crazy high resumption here, which could be good. So we need some follow through. 20 seconds. I believe the Bulls are in control. 10 seconds. We're halted at 773. Here we go. 3, 2. Good resumption. Can we get a dip? I'm a little late. I gotta be careful with this one. That was a terrible fill. Come on. Great entry too. 70. We'll let it pull away a bit. Can we pull away a little bit? $63. Let's keep watching. So we're just gonna get a bit of a bounce there. A little, a little kind of, rough around the edges, but all right. I think we can work with it. 898 for highs. Can we get another dip, or is it going to halt up again? 57 for the halt up. 57. A little rough around the edges, but I think we can work with it. Now, if we can get a proper dip and rip from this one, I think we should be looking really good on this day. Really good. This is it. This is it. This is it here. If we can get a good entry out of this one. But, again, we're coming into some areas where we got to be careful. So 960 and then 1040. Man, and look at ATHE, right? From that nice, sweet 5-minute move, right back down. Not good, not good. Not good. Not good at all. Yeah, this entry I took at 41 was a great entry. But, I would have to hold it like another 20, 30 seconds. Let's see. I was long at 54. Actually, no. Is that 1 second later? Is that 54? No. What's that? No, it's definitely not 1 second. 13, about 30 seconds. But again, for me, when I'm in, I need to see the volume coming in too, or else it's like, you know, I don't want to be in no man's land, and I'm the only person thinking the stock looks good, and then before you know it, big drop. HAHUT, how are those two looking? Oh, this one is the buyout. This one's also a buyout. ATHE. You know, SSNT is a stock we've traded before as well. It's not our first time with this one. We can work with it. We can work with it. At the hour and 45 seconds if it's a 5-minute halt this time. Okay, so it's time. It's kind of late, right? Right now it's kind of late. I would say throughout the stocks we've seen today, we've already kind of seen a decent amount of opportunity. So for me right now, this is like a crucial area in the day, right? If we can see some good trades, I think we'll be looking pretty good. If not, I want to ease off and essentially wait for the next round of momentum. You know, unless the stock kind of gives a ton of opportunity here, you know, with just candlesticks. Because it is kind of late. We got to get ourselves in a good position here. At the hour and 45 seconds. Some very unfortunate fills here so far today. So as I'm going to size up right now, you know, I'm gonna do the best I can, but I'm hoping the fills can be favorable here to give us what we need. But no fear, no hesitation. We accept the risk. About 1 minute, if it is a 5-minute halt. It's showing 9.99 and 9.60, so maybe between a sideways resumption and a $10 resumption. If we open up above 9.60, I really like that.
SLNHP via ally you.
9.57. 10 seconds. 5, 4, we're at 9.57. What will it be? Big seller. Huge seller. But it's lingering. Not quite the push there. Oh, it's 100,000 seller 10. So we got the resistance here. Can we break 102? Did they come down the ladder a bit? Everybody knows the seller's there. We haven't sold off, which is a good sign. think I might let it go. There's 64,000 shares. 50, 53, 53. Oh my gosh, not this, not this. We do not need that, man. Ooh, that is BS. Holy smokes. That is a little frustrating, man. Crazy hype fills. It's all good. Like, are they kidding me? They gonna put up a confirmation window? First, I got the rob 40 cents right there. Sold flat in a huge trade like that. So we got a new low. It's kind of rejecting. All good in the neighborhood. We don't have a choice, right? So if it's not one thing, it's the next. The halt down is at 9D1, 891. If it's not one thing, it's the next. Because I would have caught the dip too. There was a dip in there. Back down to 10 that I would have caught to be selling back at the highs again. Maybe I still take the losses at like 970. But disappointing to get that confirmation window. It's telling me auto send is not on. Is what that, called in months ago to deal with that issue, tried everything and nothing worked. It's like, come on, man. Anyhow, we're gonna see if it gives a dip on the halt down. These trades I like, but I'm kind of volatile. We get the higher fill twice. We get the higher fill twice. I'm trying to buy at 970. I'm in at 89, and the other time I'm in at 85. So if we don't go, and let's say if we don't get the lower fill and we don't go, it's a guaranteed loss, and that's kind of what happened there twice. Fair entries, but we're glad we're not caught in at 88, out at like 9. Because if I tried a third time, I think that's what would have happened. And look at the fill go. Oh my goodness! Wow, this in itself is embarrassing. I bought, well, when I bought, there still was like 40,000 shares left. There's no way I shouldn't have gotten a fill at that level. That's ridiculous. Because I clicked, there was like a full 2 seconds, and then the stock went. So to see that I got filled at 1038 is kind of mesmerizing. All good in the neighborhood. We'll see what it does on the bounce opportunity. But like I said, I'm gonna wait for the second wave of momentum. So I'll be sticking around a little longer today. The other one is curling up here. ATHE. These are the crucial moments where we must stay calm and push through. So ATHE, what does this one have to offer?
SSNT.
Oh, it's coming down. Is this one going to be one of these type of pullbacks that goes all the way to the lows? So we got a low there of 34. The resumption on the SSNT is at 0827. Really got to find a way to solve the order confirmation thing, man, because like this is, we're getting out of this alive. Like that the seconds really matter in these trades. And having to come off the buy sell button to come down and click send order is, it can be so disastrous. Like on a stock like VVOS at like $20, $40, where like every second's $1 a share. It's like if you get caught in the wrong area, like that alone could wipe out the day or put you like really red. Maybe I'll call in and get somebody else. Maybe they can like, give me a different solution. 10 seconds. We're at 891. Here we go. It's a good resumption actually. It's weird price action though. The high is at 60 for this move. Well, there's a new low of 11. Okay, maybe we're not on to anything here. Watching for 80. Can we see it? Not quite. Oh, there's 75. Okay. Bro, again. I'm gonna go crazy. Twice in one day.
SSNT.
And because it's in the heat of the trade, you know, I guess I think there's a checkbox to say do not bring this on screen again. Yeah, there's no time to be dealing with this type of stuff. We got 63 by 74. Am I being tested right now? Is that what's happening? I'm gonna come out on top because I'm disciplined regardless. But come on. 78. I'm gonna try something here to see if I can get it to do it. Let's see. Come on, bring it up so I can fix it. Look at the orders. What's going on with this platform right now? That's gonna be a great dip too. Watching sub 10. Are we gonna see sub 10? Probably not. The halt up is at 10.55. Can we see the halt up 10.55? If we don't halt up, we'll need a pullback. Fairly high fill there. Cut that. It doesn't want to dip below 10, man. The halt opposite 1090. The fills are kind of laggy too, I'm noticing here. Fills are kind of laggy. And this is just 1500 size. So a lot of technical issues today. Oh, what? Yeah, today this can't be real. All right. Okay. We got a low of 65 and a high of 1060. I'm gonna keep trying. I'm gonna keep trying. But this is definitely frustrating, but we're gonna keep our cool and we're gonna do whatever is necessary to ensure success. So we're gonna keep our discipline no matter what. We will prevail. We will. We will prevail. We're not gonna give ourselves a choice. $10.20 is the high of the loss. The low is at 960. $10.20 by 960 for now. We'll see how it continues to do. A little late there for me, but we'll take a couple cents. A lot of green, but we're not really pushing.
Via ally you.
Fair fill there. We're not going to continue. We'll take a quick loss. Could be out of that too soon, but don't want to lose sight of what the low actually is. We gotta try and get some better fills here. So far, so good. Looks like a higher low here. Ten by 10.06 in a spread. Waiting patiently here, waiting patiently. Is this the start of the next move right here? Is this it? Is this the start? Is this it? Maybe not quite. Not enough buying there, so waiting. It might be the start though. I'll still keep watching here. Just might be very delayed. 10.02. 10.02 by 10.20. I think as long as we don't see that stupid order confirmation window, and if this thing can give a good move, we can get ourselves to where we need to be here still. But it's definitely been one of those days. Spread is massive, boy. It's having some resistance at the high of day level. But it's holding, so we might retest. Maybe a bigger dip here. Okay, that held up pretty well. I'm out too soon. So I don't think there's a huge seller. Maybe like a smaller short seller or something up there at like 60. Because we bought up most of the shares, it looked like. It got over to 60. What was the high? 62, right? What was that, like 61? Yeah, 61. So I think if we hold up the lows again and we get back to the highs, there's a higher chance it should go this time. There also might have been some profit taking there. because we should have ripped over. Like I was thinking I sold too soon because the move was about to happen. So there's a low of 10, there's a high of 10.76. When support is, anywhere between 10, there's a bid down there, and anywhere between 10 and like 10, what's that, 960?
Be a ally you. INTS.
What's going on? Dip, 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 dip. They're gonna cover. So that, I think at 1060 that was a short seller. That right there is that short seller covering because they realize they have no chance. Let's go. The Bulls for the win, baby. The Bulls for the win. The Bulls. That was an aggressive breakout trade too, because the other side of that is like a big drop, right? The Bulls for the win. Let's get a screenshot of that nice sweet trade there. So, like we said in that monthly recap, in the moments where we're being tested, it's that ability to just try to stay as focused as possible, man. Because last month I was getting frustrated. It might not look like it on the camera, but inside my head, it's like I'm going crazy. But that's the move right now. It's like no matter what happens, technical difficulty, lag, high fills, this, that, we just have to keep focused regardless because there's still opportunities that can come and we can potentially capitalize. So this could really put us in a good position here if this thing gives the dip and rip that we've been elusive dip and rip that we've been looking for here the entire time. ATHE is also in striking distance. We're kind of in a crucial area here between 460, 470.
DUNEU. SSNT.
Resumption time. We got halted at 23, so 28:27. 28:27. We got about 2 minutes. I'm going to be aggressive here and I'm going to accept the risk. I'm going to be aggressive. I'm going to accept the risk. So on the daily chart, we have room all the way to 1282, and the pre-market high is at 1395. Waiting patiently. I think the decision we made a while back to go with moderate size was a good idea back then. I think it was the right move. Now we're in a better place to take on more risk. 28, 27. If it is, 5 minutes. So we got about a minute. All right. Hands on the buy button. Let's make sure our share size is set. Let's be careful. Let's manage risk. Let's be quick. Let's be sharp. And as usual, no fear, no hesitation. We're halted at 11:35, 20 seconds. It's showing 75, but we'll see. 10 seconds. 5, 4, here we go. Can we get a dip? It's not really dipping. I think I sold just in time.
INTS.
What was the low? Like 40, 50, 60? Ooh, dang. 11. 1070, 1060. I think I got a fair fill because I sold, like oh no, 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 I got caught the entire thing. Jeez. Dang. Well, that's the risk. False halt down. Let's size down a little bit more here for now. Yeah. Okay. What's crazy is that the bounce after that drop didn't even work either. It's like a false halt down that worked. So we might as well see a halt down and let it do its thing and then give a bounce. But right now the high is at 11, 11:20 or so. Let's say 11:35 actually. So the low is at 10:40. Mm-mm-mm. That would have been a nice sweet trade though. There's a big bid. We're not really reacting. I've sized down to just 1,000 for now. There could be a red to green though. If we get over 11:35, 11:50, it can get right back. There's 11:30. Bills are lagging bad. Okay, we're gonna ease off a bit, size down more. That was a brutal 60-cent loss, 2K shares. Not good. So we got a high, let's stay focused. We got a high of 30, low of 72 on the current candle, low before that was 40. So again, about this 11:30 area right now seems to be resistance. The elusive dip and rip.
SSNT.
We could not get a proper sequence not once today. 1171, the low of the last. Or excuse me, 1071. The 1040 level is pretty good though, you know, all that previous resistance. If we can continue to hold that up, that'll be really good to see. I'm very late on that. There's a huge 50,000 bid. Super late. Look the way to my charts. Where is the bid though? What price? Let's see. That's the one bad thing with level 2. When you pull away from the level, it doesn't really show anymore. But good to see that type of buying down there. So can we get over 35 and get to 50? We're going to keep battling, but we also got to be very careful about taking on too many losses. So that bid is there. I think like 90. Yeah. Let's see if they want to get some of these shares filled. Let's see if they fill some of these shares here, or are we just going to linger above the level? 90 to 11.10, 20 cents, 25 cents, 15. I want to see some of those shares getting filled. We'll see if they move up the order. Okay, so over 30, it begins. That's a brutal fill, man. I gotta stop checking my fills. Low, 1150, 40, 30. Oh, I sold. Wow. Oh my goodness. I sold that a second too soon. So we got 77, 60, 50. It might drop here. There's quite a spread still. Can we hold? 1150. Usually when we get that kind of like pop, we should be going, right? It's like mm-mm-mm. 1215 was that high. I'm gonna wait a little bit. I feel like it's just a little too choppy here. It's showing that it wants to go, but then it gets up there, it does nothing. We're quite away from the lows right now, so we definitely want to pull away if possible. Halt up is at 1249. We got to try and get back on the winning side of things. We're in about a $1,200 drawdown right now, so we gotta step it up. Low 1130s, high of about 12 in this current range. High of days at 12. 1247, pre-market high at 1395. It's never easy. The word easy doesn't exist here. So there's 99, 99. Poor fills. 30. Low of 1180 or so right there. Halt ups at 1274. Like, I don't know, like, it's like I'll buy it if it goes here, but it's like this area doesn't feel so good. Price action is very choppy. Oh, I knew I shouldn't have sold that, man. I knew I shouldn't have sold that. There's a small seller and I kind of panicked out of that. Disappointing. Low is at 1275 right here. We'll get more of a dip. 13 for the halt up. That was the second big move I missed by selling 1 second too early. Yeah, the breakouts are too quick to try and buy, so gotta position myself. The halt is at 1327. Can we see it? Can we see the halt up? 1327. Can we see the halt up? Can we get locked in here? Can short sellers get squeezed? $13.50 for the halt up. $13.50. Awful fills. It's coming down. That's a great bounce, but my fills are still awful, it would seem. Actually, no, maybe a decent trade. Low 1164. It's not doing a good job when we get closer to the, yeah, this is a terrible fill. Closer to the halt level. Bro, there's no way that many people bought before me right there. Like, that was a quick buy. At this rate, half this live stream is gonna become me complaining. I'm trying not to do it, but it's like at every turn, man, every turn. But I gotta try harder and get to the point where I'm not mentioning it. Every time we get up to the halt level, there's not enough buying and we fall back down. I'm starting to think to size down completely and just lock in what I have and stop trying to push. I think that might be the move here for me, and just, if I can add some small gains, great. If I have losses, then they're not going to really affect me too much. That way we can just lock it in. Because with the size I'm trying to push, we can easily still go back to flat if we get caught. So we're going to lock in the gains. In a perfect world, if we don't have the technical difficulties in those things, I think maybe we could have added another like 1500, but things happen. We got to be careful of backside happening too. I don't know if this is it. It might not be it, but just in general, because this could be seen as a rejection of the pre-market high. Although we didn't get up there super close. I mean, 13, what's the high? 1337 versus 1395, it's kind of in proximity. And so maybe there are more short sellers up there as they were noticing we weren't getting halted, potentially. These short sellers are definitely some aggressive traders when you think about it. Because to go short up there when we could get halted is like a crazy trade to take. Because if it gets halted up, then it can resume higher above the pre-market high, and then, maybe 14, 15. Sometimes you gotta not think about it, man. You want to go crazy, but you know that that's not going to do anything good for you. The cool, calm, collected warrior is the one who will prevail. A good place to go crazy, though, is the gym, right? There's other places you can go crazy too, but we're not going to talk about that. The gym, man, you can, maybe try and go up a extra level in weight if you have the aggression. Hopefully, those of you in the Discord and the YouTube live stream, likewise for those people tuning on Twitch and Facebook, hope you guys were all able to have a disciplined day. We're getting a halt down here, it would seem. False halt. Halt down is at 1086. If it halts down, I wouldn't mind because that could provide a bounce opportunity. The trade that I missed going up, there was a 6,000 share seller, and green was printing, but I guess it was like buyers of like 100 shares, 200 shares, and we dropped down to like 3K. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna take my 10 cents before this thing comes right back down on me. But deep down, my instinct is telling me like, wait for like somebody to actually buy with like 2, 3, 4K size, and see how it reacts over that level of 20. And I do the fearful thing, which was to sell the position, and then it rips up 80 cents. Fear. And my position size was only 1K, so it's like even if it came down, it was a flat trade. Like what did I have to lose there to make me sell that position like that? Those are the type of things that I think I can improve on. It's mental things like that. A cool, calm, collected trader in that moment is holding that position and then selling after the resolution. Me panicking out of the trade like a rookie here. So there's work to be done, as usual. There's work to be done. Is this the beginning of the backside, or is this a longer pullback for a move up? Looking at the overall picture and context, stock is still bullish. Even if short sellers are seeing some good follow through here, or, I think in the overall context, it's still a pretty bullish stock. So I think even if we ease off now, it'll be one to keep on one of the charts at least throughout the day to see, what it continues to do. Because there could be another move, and even on the way down, there might be some small bounce opportunities. But proud of this day, man. Proud of this day, especially after yesterday and the monthly recap talking about the mental struggles. This is we need more of this, right? We need to be consistent with this way of thinking. No matter how many things happen, we just keep watching for the next opportunity. Even ATHE still, again, if we can get over like 480, that one could end up being something. Low of 11, high of 1160, and I would think this could get back to 12 here, because this is quite the drop. We dropped down from almost, 1340. So if we can get up to like 1180, maybe 1190 would be really good for this bounce. And if it comes back down from there, then, it was already such a good bounce. It's not a problem. So far we're seeing 1175. And the way how I think about this is like what's reasonable. That's all I'm doing for the estimate. It's like I would think that that's reasonable. But even like 1180, because the very low was $11. So like 1180, we got I mean, even 74 is not bad if it kind of tops out here and comes back down a bit. But yeah, pretty decent. So it's 80 cents there, or 70 cents. If you can capture 30 cents of that, 20 cents, maybe 60 cents in the higher side. Some people are definitely in 1105, 1110 holding here. They're up a decent amount in the trade. Happy I found your page. Man, we keep it real. We keep it real. All the red days, the green days. We are profitable. But we keep it real more than anything else. We don't shy away from the difficulty of the market. I understand very well that, being a trader also means, being able to accept losses, financially. And the better that I can be at doing that, you know, the better I'll be able to trade ultimately. Our trade style is very fast paced. It's called hyper scalping, right? We're buying and selling hundreds of times within one day. It's definitely not the usual in holding for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, or maybe even a half an hour to an hour. But it also works, right? And those strategies also work too, right? There's strategies, every strategy will work for someone and not work for someone else, right? But definitely if you guys are interested in the fast pace type of trading, this is not a bad channel. I mean, even if you're not, the sense of community here is still pretty good. We keep it professional. I try my best not to cuss on here. I definitely can if I wanted to, but I try not to. I understand that some people will be watching at home and they can have me on a television or something in a living room, right? So we got to keep it professional. And, something I'm still trying to, do, because there are moments where, as how's this one looking? There are moments where it kind of comes out because just something so crazy, but even that is discipline. You don't need to say something bad if something bad happens, right? Whoever put that in place, right? So it's all discipline. And that's what we're trying to do here every day, is to be more disciplined. We are very fortunate though to have this type of system here. It works fairly well. It's not perfect though. September we literally only made 1,000. Worst month of the year. But happy to have ended green, because for sure we could have been red. The worst month followed by the best month in October. There's been a lot of good months though throughout the year. KT KT has never heard me say the F word, which is great. We got to protect the young ones and their innocent ears. My broker is TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim, now owned by Charles Schwab. There's some important economic data being released this week, and then of course on the 13th. The economy is in an interesting place, right? Because right now things are kind of stiff. Like, of course, big companies and like, upper middle class and wealthy people are doing fine, but a lot of people are having a hard time, right? It's like if you're not really upper middle class, anything below that, you're kind of, feeling the squeeze, right? So they're trying to combat inflation with these high interest rates, which is what, mostly is causing a lot of the problems, because we have a lot of debt here in America, right? It's like this system runs off of debt, but you also need people to be able to pay their debt, but things are, cost of living is high, and the interest rates are higher than, what we would want them to be. So it's like there's a predicament, right? Like they kind of need higher for longer to bring down the inflation, but the people kind of need, ease, right? The people need some breathing room right now. So, are they going to start to bring down rates, or are they going to wait, right? Because like student loan debt started again, and people are already having a hard time. So what they don't want is for people to default and not pay the loans, right? If they say, hey, I have to buy food, I can't pay this debt, that's how the economy crashes, right? It's actually in an interesting place. So it's like, how are they going to, go about doing it? Hopefully they can hint that they're going to bring it down early next year, can be good. And it's like unless we see some sort of like, which can happen, like an underlying issue, right? Because things happen, whether it's conflict or something else, the market should rise, hopefully. ATHE is at 460. Whether it rises or not, though, I'll still be buying. Even if it goes down, I'll be buying. Yeah, I have a few hotkeys on Thinkorswim. Very basic hotkeys to buy market, sell market. Some guys they use the buttons. They're pretty good too. You can literally use the buttons if you prefer like using the mouse. I used to use them a few years ago, but then I switched over to the hotkeys. But the buttons are pretty good too. I think Crispy uses the buttons, and Crispy's killing it, right? So whatever's your preference. Thanks for not using the unprofessional words. Of course, that's the way to go. New to hyperscalping. Do you have stop loss when doing hyperscalping, or just exit if huge dip? Yeah, so it might not seem like it, but with every trade, every time I buy, I'm always thinking about the risk and how much I'm willing to risk versus what the reward could potentially be in a trade every single time without fail. Because if I go in and I don't know what I'm willing to risk, if the stock drops, I can be like a deer in the headlight, which is absolutely deadly in this type of trading, or most type of trading, really. So here comes ATHE. I think it's worth watching here. It's breaking over some key levels. So the VWAP is the next big area here for us to get past. Five days at 541. There's 85. The stock is definitely like a different pace compared to the other one, right? It's a little slower. Gotta definitely adjust a little bit here to it. But that's not what we want to see right there, from 80 down to 68. 85 to 68 is a pretty big drop. I don't really like to see that, right? Because, if I'm in looking for a couple cents, 5, 10 cents, I don't want to be, losing 20 cents. That's going to give us a negative ratio. So right here, I'm asking myself, how strong is this 5-minute candle? It seems strong, so this dip might hold. Can we hold up this dip? I'll take small size here. My stop is in place. So I'm going to just give it a chance and see if it wants to get back to 70 here. But the candle kind of ended. Yeah, that's selling, man. That wick kind of, not really looking super good. I'll take the 10 cents. Take the 10 cents. If we could have closed at 65, it would have been good. But, so far this candle here is curling. SSNT, huge drop. Yes, and of course, we're going to get back to 75, and I'm going to sell too soon. Classic. But I think for good reasons. The candle, the wick on that candle is a little bigger than I thought it was. So a lot of the areas where I'm looking to buy and sell, it has to do with supply and demand. Where do you think there should be a lot of demand versus, how the technicals are looking? So it looks like it might go through 5 here, but there's a small seller. If the supply is limited and there's a lot of demand, then we can move, right? It's why we're trading a stock like this in the first place. I'll take a position here. Oh, and it's still dropping. 63. 63, 61. So this is a pretty big drop again. It's just like the last candle, it's like, can we hold up our levels here? 60. Yeah, so, we want to position ourselves based off of where we think, there's a lot of demand. So the reason why we're trading these stocks in the first place is that the shares outstanding, or let's say the float, right, the shares that are available for the public to trade is very limited. And when there's a headline, right, like this is a therapeutics company here, when there's a headline, there's a lot of demand. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of money, there's a lot of, volume. And there can be an imbalance to the buy or sell side due to that, supply and demand relationship. And so what we're trying to do is, based off of the technicals here, the candlesticks, we're trying to interpret as best as we can key levels, key, demand zones to buy. So AKA support. And then areas where the supply might be a little on the higher side, right? Areas where people are looking to sell, resistance. And how well can we position ourselves? Like right here, this stock is like, this is nonsense, like we're rejecting the VWAP level here. It seems like short sellers, and this is also another thing you have to consider. There are people buying the stock looking for it to go down, which is not really talked about a lot. You got to also consider what those people are thinking too, because there's a lot of them and they do affect and influence the stock. So you have to worry about people taking profits, where people are looking to sell, and where people are looking to also short sell, which is what it's called. So, in this situation, they're looking at the VWAP here more than likely because it's a big, indicator. And they're probably thinking, let me go in at this level where it's known that there could be resistance and look for the stock to go down so that I can make money. That along with people who might have bought down here saying, hey, you know what? I'm in at 450. This thing is up at 480, 490. What more do I need than that? Let me just take this out of the trade. And before you know it, the selling starts to come in. But there are days where people, they're in at 450 or even lower, and they're like, no, I think this thing should go to the high of day level that we saw earlier, which in this case would be 540. And instead of selling, sometimes they'll buy more. And before you know it, the short sellers are caught off guard because the stock is going higher. And for them to get out, they actually have to buy the stock back, right? If you're not familiar with short selling, you can look up the concept, right? There's some short videos that go over the entirety of it. But yeah, they'll have to buy the stock back, and then that adds to even more buying. And before you know it, like the other stock, we're seeing a big green candle like this out of just nowhere. Everybody essentially is buying, whether to get out or to go in for the stock to go higher. But anyhow, I think this is gonna shut it. This is gonna do it for me. It's 11:05. Maybe we could stick around a little bit more, but there doesn't seem to be a ton moving. We can do a full look through here. EYPT ended up not holding up so well. I lost $70 trying to buy right here. I was looking for the 1 minute candle to make the new high over this flat top. And I was expecting there to be a nice green candle going up like this, but instead it went up a little bit and then it flushed back down. So I kept my stop tight. The moment that it wasn't going and selling started to come, like that's it. So I lost, I believe, 20 cents with 300 shares. But it was a good attempt because if it was strong, we could have seen 22.50, which was the halt up. And then that could have potentially opened up higher, maybe at 23, 24. And before you know it, just like that, you start seeing a big move. You zoom out. The pre-market high is all the way at 34. Sometimes that's what happens. The stock, they go right back up to those highs. And that's how we can be profitable, is if we're keeping our stops tight when it's not working. And when it is working, we're either holding longer or buying back over and over, getting back in and scalping the move. SHOT on the other hand, not much here. SMFL, not much there. SSNT, we had the big drop and a good bounce here actually for anybody who might have been watching this. Good VWAP bounce. We're seeing a bear flag, and so over 1045 we could see more of a move, or it could get rejected and come back down to the lows. But this type of trade here is the trade that I would like to take if I'm still watching the stock. Because, it's like after a drop like this, you ask yourself, how much should we be able to bounce? We went from 1124 to a low of 980. Stock dropped about 13%. Can we see, a bit of a 4, 5, 6% bounce? Maybe a little bit more. And the way how the math works, it's kind of, I'm not a mathematician by any means, but for the stock to go back up this amount, like if let's see, from this low back to the high, let's see, about 15%, right? The percentages has like a very like compounding relationship. But anyhows, we got to 1045. So from 980 to 1045, you know, was that about 65 cents? Again, can you capture 30 cents of that? 20 cents, 50 cents? And so if you're in fairly low, if you can time this properly, there's a 7%, 6% move here going back up. But anyhow, so that's going to do it. If you guys are going all the way to 4 p.m., continue to be disciplined, continue to be patient. We understand how frustrating day trading can be, but we have to stay cool and we have to stay poised. That'll give us the best odds. So continue to be disciplined, continue to be focused. I'll catch you guys in the recap. If something moves in Power Hour, I'll go live in Discord and we'll trade it there. Other than that, take care, stay safe, stay green, hit that thumbs up on the way out, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and check out those links down below. If you guys want to see how I find the stocks that I trade every day here with Momo Pro, right, you can definitely take a look at it. There are also links for the chat room, which is where we hang out every day during the live stream, after the live stream, and before the live stream. So you guys can check out the chat room, which now has over 5,000 members. So way to go here for us here in the community. Other than that, let's see, I think, is that everything? No, the course. Yeah, for those of you who are interested in learning how to trade, we do have a day trading course, and it is a no-nonsense course. We do not promise or guarantee, let's say it like this, we do not guarantee success, because nothing in life is guaranteed, of course. But we do think that with this program, you can give yourself an edge, right? We do teach how to trade the strategy here, and we teach you how to manage your risk, right? We teach you how to go about it in a low risk way. Ultimately, you as the trader, you do have to be disciplined though, because it's not instant gratification. It takes months and more commonly years. And we have to go through the learning curve, which is practicing in a simulator or practicing with very small share size to ensure that our market tuition is very low. Because if you're new, and it can be to any field, any subject, any discipline, any career, tomorrow you can decide you want to be a doctor, but there's going to be a learning curve. You have to go to university, then undergrad, then grad, and then medical school, however the process is. You have to pass the examination. It might be 8 years before you can say you're in a hospital performing an open heart operation. And the market is the same way, but because it's so easily accessible, we sometimes forget that fact and we just jump into it like if we're Warren Buffett or something. So take it slow, take it slow and be disciplined about the process. But yeah, you guys can utilize coupon code DREAM for 50% off. Other than that, catch you guys, and this is a sweet bounce down here. Other than that, I'll catch you guys later. Stay safe, stay green.